Our next inductee is Ms. Kim Steinmetz of St. Louis, Missouri. Kim is a lifelong resident of St. Louis. She began playing tennis when her dad signed his 3 daughters up to take some private lessons at the country club, just hoping that at least one of them would get good enough to be able to play with him. Well, Kim at that time was 7 years old, and she became the player that Dad didn't really want to play with anymore because she was just a little too good. From the start, Kim loved and embraced the game. Tennis and tennis tournaments quickly became a regular part of her summer. She won her first tournament barely more than a year after she hit the first tennis ball in that lesson. Her junior career culminated with the Missouri Valley ranking of #1 in singles and doubles in both the 16s and 18 division, and a national ranking of #15 in the girls' 18 division. Kim was the first woman to receive a full tennis scholarship at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. She attended SMU for 2 years, followed by 2 years at Trinity University in San Antonio. There, as a captain, she led her team to 2 top 10 NCAA finishes. During her collegiate career, Kim was a 2-time All-American and Trinity's 1980 Woman Athlete of the Year. After graduation, Kim joined the professional tennis circuit and initially started out with a world ranking of 188. Within 3 years, she had risen into the top 100 and competed against such great tennis players as Martina Navratilova, Chris Evert, Pam Shriver, and Billie Jean King. She owns doubles victories against Steffi Graf, Joe Dury, Betty Stova, and Hannah Manlikova. Her biggest win came in singles in the 1988 U.S. Open when she defeated the 8th-ranked player in the world, Natasha Zarieva. Kim's professional tennis career lasted 10 years and included 26 Grand Slam tournament appearances. She retired in 1990 and started in with her second great passion, that of teaching tennis. Kim was a member of the 1994 St. Louis Eights team, and in 2000 she was inducted into the St. Louis Tennis Hall of Fame. Kim is still doing what she loves. She's currently the tennis director of the Missouri Athletic Club in St. Louis. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Missouri Valley Tennis Hall of Fame, Miss Kim Steinmetz.
What I wanted to say first of all is thanks to Craig Sandvig, who nominated me for this, and to the committee who decided that it was a good idea that maybe I could be part of this. So thank you all very much. And I think I start with my support here. I have 3 tables of people, mostly family, that came to help me celebrate this induction. And I have people that came from, all of them came from St. Louis or farther, but I have nephews, my brothers and sisters and their families, and I have 3, I have 3 women sitting right over here. You guys, if you just stand up real quick. They came, they're just people that I teach tennis to, and Vicki amongst them tried to recruit more to come for this, but it's Vicki, Donna, and Jean, and so I thank you all very much. I have my brothers and sisters, significant others, and that is Linda, Cindy, and Carmen. Thank you all right. But my thanks goes mostly to my family. Oh, and Gwen Keith, I want to mention her because she is my longest standing fan that is not blood related. She was my 4th, 5th, and 6th grade teacher in school. And she had a day which she called the hobby day, and I came along with my tennis racket and dressed in my mom put me in my tennis skirt, and Gwen took me down to the gymnasium so I could show my stuff. And what she says is that all the kids were impressed with the fact that I could toss the ball up in the air and then catch it on my tennis racket. And she said they were also impressed by that. So she still remembers that, and she's my fan. I guess she's been my fan ever since. And she's here today from Alabama. Thank you, Gwen. My parents are, of course, the first people I have to thank. They are so willing to jump into this endeavor of tennis and support my sisters and my tennis playing throughout our junior career and drive us to tournaments and this and that. Their support and their patience, I would say, is very important. And it starts with a little example I have is when I was a kid, and I grew up in a small ranch home, and you know, in St. Louis in those days there weren't many places to play in the winter, so I found different walls to hit against. And one of the places in our house that I found I could do this was at, believe it or not, at the bottom of a stairwell going down to our basement. And I would take the tennis ball and I'd toss it up, and then I'd bang it against the drywall paneling, which would go boom, 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 boom. And I would learn, I built up to 1,000 times against that wall. So I don't know if my parents were thinking, oh man, she's gonna go a long way, she may do that, or man, is this really worth it? I don't know, because that noise had to have been just driving them crazy. And now finally, I just wanna thank my siblings individually. Pam, we'll start with you, of course. Thank you for being such a strong support system. Pam and Jana, they were a bit older than me, and I always loved to do whatever they did. And if my love for tennis came from anywhere, it was most likely to have come from them, because whatever they did, I loved to do, and they loved to play tennis, and I did too. So they were my constant practice partners. Pam also was able to travel with me, Jana too, but Pam one time individually went to England with me. And I had everything set up for her. You're going to meet me here, you're going to take this train there, you're going to do this, do that. And one thing that she appreciates still today is the fact that I would run into the Holiday Inn to get her ice for her Coke. Because in England, they didn't have any ice. So she supported me and coached me throughout many of my tennis tournaments, and thank you, Pam. And Jana, thank you very much. I lived with Jana in San Antonio for one school year, so that I could play in warmer weather. She was down in San Antonio at Trinity University, and we bought a little apartment. And she had a lot of patience too, because I actually wrecked her car without even being in it. And she was okay with that. You know, those safety things on the cars now, they must have been made for me. You know, can't move it and drive without being in the car. Okay. So, and then I have my younger brother, Kerry. Kerry didn't start. That's Kerry. Kerry didn't start playing tennis when we did because he was younger than us, but he did eventually start the game and still plays more than the rest of us now, probably, besides me teaching. And he was my constant partner, constant buddy when I was little, but he's my constant partner when I was playing on the tour. I would come home, and he was my go-to guy, because if I couldn't find somebody else, he was always there. Yeah, I'll play. And he still tries to pull me out on the court every now and then. And then Doug was older than the rest of us, and so he didn't start playing tennis when we did. In fact, he never started playing tennis. He's asking me for a couple rackets today. He's inspired by all these people being inducted. But Doug, probably surprising to him, I remember a time when he came to play and watch and play me play tennis when I was 16, and he's surprised. He watched me play. The girl that I played and her coach were not so friendly, and I kind of got upset, and I didn't handle it very well. And he talked to me afterwards. So he's 9 years older than me, and he talked to me afterwards, and he talked to me about being mature, being professional, about being calm on the court so that I could do better. And I appreciate his advice, and I heeded it after that. So thank you, Doug. And then one other little tidbit about Linda Steinmetz, that's Carrie's wife. I just found out just today as we're sitting down, a bunch of my family and friends would come to the US Open to watch me play. And Linda did that trip in my parents' van 4 times, and Carrie, once. Okay, well, thank you all very much.